What do you think of the world as you see it these days?
Well, I think from our perspective at Wells, it's a very complex world, getting even more complex. For us, in the last couple of years, it's been a real convergence of the increased regulatory scrutiny, the merger that we've all had to deal with, and then, of course, just the uncertainties and difficulties in the financial markets over the past 3 years as well. In the case of the regulators, it's almost as if you had all the regulators converging at one time, all trying to get a piece of the pie. There's a lot of crossing of lines that previously had never existed before. And in our businesses, which include the securities businesses as well as the banking and retirement businesses, it just makes for a very challenging time. The other part of it, of course, from a regulatory perspective, is the heightened scrutiny that we've all gotten, the more prescriptive nature of the relationship, sometimes more confrontational, but certainly, again, just a lot more complex, which has really challenged us in our new environment to create the capability, if you will, to effectively manage the risk.
Wells Fargo has been very successful. How do you see the risk culture in Wells Fargo?
I think evolving. By definition, you know, with a merger of two companies, neither company ended up with the culture that survives today. It was the best of the best. The majority of the businesses are Wells Fargo businesses, and therefore they take on the characteristics of that culture. However, there are a number of other businesses, a number of which are in my world, in the wealth brokerage and retirement space, where the products and services and the size and scale of the business, you know, sort of evolve then towards a combination more than a single, you know, reliance on one particular culture. I think that you know, the construct at Wells was that it was a run it like you own it. Each of the business lines did what they wanted and needed to do, and it really connected at the end at a central core, but it was really driven by the it being the individual business unit. Today, that it is Wells Fargo core. The size and complexity of the organization, 280,000 people, 85 businesses, you really can't do it as if it's, you know, 85 individual business lines running everything independently of the core. That having been said, the culture of the company is that everyone is a risk manager, everyone owns the risk. There's accountability and responsibility for it, therefore it connects.
Yeah.
And that still, at the end of the day, is the bedrock for Wells Fargo's culture. And the processes and things that we need to put in place today for our governance models reflect that evolution and the changing nature of our environment and the regulatory world that we operate in.
Now, you mentioned that you're based out of Charlotte.
I am.
What sort of challenges and opportunities does it provide when you are located in one geography and you have operations and operational centers distributed around the rest of the United States?
We've got nearly 800 people in our world of risk management for wealth brokerage and retirement. A majority of those are in the compliance space that are tied directly to the securities businesses. But we have major centers in Minneapolis, St. Louis, and Charlotte on the East Coast. And then on the West Coast, of course, you've got to have LA and San Francisco. So it's challenging, but with the technology today and the ability to do telepresence and you know, be able to connect all of these areas together basically through one communications network, I think makes all the difference in the world. You don't have to be on the plane all the time.
Right.
And just easy to do it and also a lot more efficient.
And from an information management standpoint, do you find yourselves involved in projects and trying to consolidate views of information, or did the existing systems provide most of that?
A little of both. I think we are certainly challenged by the systems and the need to continue to enhance and improve the systems, both because they help us manage the business better, but also because the regulators are requiring additional information.
Indeed.
And as we've kind of now pretty much completed the conversions, as we go back around and sort of say, well, where are the gaps and where are the issues, I think we're going to find that there are going to be a lot of opportunities to enhance that capability and come up with greater capacity and technical expertise in order to get done what we need to get done.
Is the business able to take advantage of your insights and use them in any sort of product development opportunities?
I think particularly in our world, I think that's true. Our business is a consumer business, but it's also a C&I business with commercial real estate and other commercial transactions. And we do a fair bit of credit in that space. And the other thing is that as we manufacture and distribute product, it's not just something that we do internally within WBR. It's also product that's manufactured in other parts of the organization. And I think doing that creates the challenge to be able to do that effectively and efficiently for the consumer, for the ultimate borrower, if you will, or ultimate client. And that is different than we've ever had to sort of deal with. And I think the new product development, things that you talk about, making sure that we're able to do that is really where the challenge is. And I think the processes that we've had to set up in order to do that really kind of are what's been the focal point for us.
Now, RiskMinds is always interested in the individual. Anything exciting and interesting that we should know?
Certainly the next 10 to 15 years in the wealth space, in the retirement space, and the ability to advise and to serve the client. Probably, I don't know a better time probably going forward demographically or certain opportunities to provide that advice than we have today.
Absolutely.
So for me, that's the challenge, but it's also the great opportunity. And so looking forward to that period of time.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.